Have you not heard? Has it not been told? There is a story of old.
Archbishop Dominiquae Bierman has traveled the world for over 3 decades proclaiming the gospel from Zion to the nations with miracles following. She exposes the false doctrines of replacement theology and preaches restoration to the Jewish Messiah, Yeshua Hamashiach.
That a lion has defeated a dragon. A lion has defeated a dragon. A lion has defeated a dragon. The Lion of Judah has defeated the dragon.
Hallelujah. Now we're going to talk about one of my most favorite women in the Bible. A woman that against all odds overturned a cursed predicament to a blessing. A woman by the name of Ruth. This woman, a Moabite, from the Moabites across the Jordan. She came from an accursed lineage, from an accursed people, and yet she is the one that became the grandmother of King David and the great-grandmother of King Yeshua, the Messiah, Yeshua HaMashiach. In other words, this woman built up the whole house of Judah, and she is a Gentile. And not only a Gentile, a Moabite, an accursed Moabite. Let's begin reading. Salmon fathered Boaz by Rahab. Boaz fathered Obed by Ruth. Obed fathered Jesse, and Jesse fathered David the king. David fathered Solomon by the wife of Uriah. So here we get the grandma of King David. You know, often I say that the end time church is called to be like a Ruth to Israel. You're going to understand why, because of what this woman does to overturn the curse in her life into a great blessing and to be able to be one of the most important blessed women of the Bible. So much so that she's mentioned as a mother. Normally mothers are not mentioned in the Bible, except when they are remarkable, something outstanding. Ruth is mentioned in the Bible as the mother of Jesse and the grandmother of, the mother of Obed and the grandmother of King David. So, here we come. We are going to talk from Deuteronomy 23, where it talks about the curse of the Moabites. It says, no Ammonite or Moabite is to enter the community of Adonai, even to the 10th generation. None belonging to them is to enter the community of Yahweh forever. Not only 10th generation. Because they did not meet you with bread and water on the way when you came out from Egypt. And because they hired against you Balaam, son of Beor from Petor of Aram Naharaim, to curse you. But Yahweh your God refused to listen to Balaam, and Yahweh your God turned the curse into a blessing for you because he loves you. You are never to seek their shalom or welfare all your days. So here we are. We have a situation whereabout she's coming from a people that they will never be able to be saved. You know, when the scriptures say you will never be able to enter the community of Yahweh, that means they could never enter into covenant with the God of Israel. The only people that he had a covenant with was the people of Israel. And the only way to enter into the community of Yahweh or be saved was actually by joining the people of Israel, converting to an Israeli or a Hebrew or a Jew. Later on, when Yeshua comes, the Gentiles do not need to convert to become Jewish, but they need to be grafted in, which is actually kind of the same thing. They're not grafted into a Christian tree, but rather grafted into a Jewish olive tree. That's what Romans 11 tells us. And so there's no salvation apart from Israel. That's why Jeremiah 31 to 34 tells us that the new covenant is made with the house of Israel, with the house of Judah. In other words, the new covenant is not made with Gentiles, but with the house of Israel, with the house of Judah. There is no salvation apart from Israel. Yeshua is a Jewish Messiah, the highest representative of Israel. In fact, he is the king of the Jews. So we can see here that Ruth could never obtain that salvation. She was a Moabite. 10 generations, she could not go in. Let's say a generation is 40 years, 400 years, 500 years in her family. She still could not become part of the community of Israel. In fact, it says forever, so they were doomed forever. But what was the reason for that? The reason for such a tremendous curse was because the Moabites did not help the Israelites with bread and water in the desert. In other words, in the time of their need, when they were in the desert and they were hungry and thirsty, they refused them sustenance. And you say, well, that's their parameter. I mean, if they don't want to help them, what's the big deal? Why would God curse them? Because that is actually repaying evil for good. Why do I say repaying evil for good? Because you see, the Moabites come from the lineage of Lot. And the incestuous relationship of Lot with his daughter. And therefore the Moabites come out of incest, which in itself carries a curse. But on top of it, Lot was the nephew of Abraham.